decided to pick up the pace behind.
Yeah, new to the team, Samuel Leroux. Last year he won from a breakaway in Étoile de Bessèges, a rather big upset. Group of 4 or 5 riders stayed clear just by 1, 2, 3 seconds. It was really tight, but a big win. He was still riding for Van Rijssel-Roubaix last year. But a new team for Samuel Leroux, and he's got a nice gap. But of course, with 16 kilometers to go, this is borderline impossible.
Yeah, like you say, he's clearly a powerful rider because they're not hanging about behind. There was a couple of little counter-attacks, and already the teams that have been controlling this race so far, EF Education, Easy Post, and a Little Trek are forming behind. If I can get my words out, but yeah, looks he's a strong ruler, isn't he? But you've got to try it again. Very much like our Airbnb. Team Total Energies do not have a man that can win this from the group size that we have at the moment. They just haven't got the pace, so they've got to use other options. And this man clearly, as you just said, goes well early season, and that's a pretty respectable gap. But sustaining the amount of power that he's got to for the next 20 minutes or so is going to be very difficult against the riders behind, given that nagging headwind. But these last few Ks are going to go pretty rapidly because of the loss of elevation and the way that factors into the speed.
Going about my little pet peeve about French bike lanes, that is a lovely French bike lane, but then each and every time a road crosses, they put 2 poles in the middle of the bike lane. Like, how, that's end of the bike lane. All of a sudden you are on the bike lanes. It's an art. Call us, people. We know about bike lanes.
Yeah, some of the. I mean, we've got some great bike lanes in the UK. But we've also got some. We've got some bike lanes. I think there's even an Instagram or a Twitter account for bizarre bike lanes.
Oh yeah.
I think it might be something more profane than that. Like, what the hell is this?
Don't do that.
Yeah, but
don't say it on air.
Some of them are like a 2 meters long bike lane with full signage, and it's like if you lay down, you'd be longer than the bike lane itself. Some are absolutely crazy.
It does remind me of the Instagram account Ugly Belgian Houses, but that's a whole different story. Go look it up, it's hilarious. But for now, we have Samuel Leroux on the attack for the Total Energie team. Leroux is 30 years old, comes from Boulogne-sur-Mer, which is, of course, on the Atlantic coast of France in the Vendée, which is the home ground of Total Energie, the team of Jean-René Bernadotte. Their development team is called Vendée U, after the supermarket from the region. And Samuel Leroux is actually from that region. He's got 1 professional win behind his name, and that is that win last year in Étoile de Bessèges. He is one of the fortune favours the brave kind of riders, and you always hope that they get a shot. But with this headwind going into the finish and a peloton with the likes of EF Education, Easy Post and Little Trek on the hunt for a sprint opportunity, it's going to be, like I said, borderline impossible for him.
He's certainly making the Little Trek work hard here. They're not hanging about here at all. And he's clearly a rider that can ride well on this terrain. Those wins. He's also had wins at the level just below, but at a 2.2 and 1.2. But that's essentially, although we don't use the word amateur anymore, they're not classified as proper UCI points. But he looks good in the bike. Looks like a proper rouleur, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. And is turning that a pretty big gear, despite the head crosswind here.
I think this is the biggest gear that he can actually go on. But they do have a fast man in this group. That is Sandy Dujardin. Of course, the team doesn't have to help with the chasing their own teammate. New bikes for the team. I think we memorized that last week with the Envy, who were known for wheels and now also have a bike.
Yeah, they were on Envy bikes last year as well. It's the second year on Envy bikes.
Oh, it's the second year already, okay.
Yeah, it's just they're using different TT bikes, but they're actually very nice. I've had the fortune to have ridden one. They're pretty tasty machines, that's for sure. Most of these top-end bikes that every team rides are very good. But to the Envies, yep, a nice bit of kit, that is for sure. But yeah, this little drag before it drops down, this is really going to hurt him now. He's trying to get himself as small frontally as he can, elbows in, using the whole width of the road just to try and shave off even a couple of centimetres to take that racing line, and clearly making Bernal on the left and Mollema grimace here. Rafferty, the Irish champ, also in there for EF Education Easy Post, assisting with the trying to reel this Frenchman in.
And Alex Kirsch, as always, looking completely unfazed, like, I'm on a little coffee ride here. I'm not hurting, not at all. He doesn't have, I've never seen a suffer face on Alex Kirsch before.
He always looks really, really...
composed.
Composed and, almost serene looking, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. This is Darren Rafferty, the Irish champion, putting in a turn there, of course, for Marijn van den Berg. Yeah, having the likes of Mess Pedersen on the team also knows that everybody will be looking at you to take this race on to take this race on. And it's been mostly Lidl Trek leading the peloton. But this man, 37 seconds is admirable.
That's good. That's really good. He's rolling well. As you see, even in that headwind, he's got a couple of sprockets left to play with should he need it. He's had to gear down another cog there, but his
club teams or continental teams, so the third division team. But of course, last year winning that stage in Étoile de Bessèges, winning some lower ranked races as well. Normally we don't call them pro races because they are of the fourth category, but he did win on the circuit in Belgium, had some good results last year, and that brought him onto the radar of the team of Total Energie. And 39 seconds, the end of this long drag is imminent, and then it's mostly downhill for the final 10 kilometers. And just like last year in the Étoile de Bessèges, Samuel Leroux might upset Mess Pedersen.
This is, when it was holding at sort of 12, 15 seconds, and then suddenly it's bounced up to 30 seconds, 37, now 39 seconds. He really is making everybody on the front. No, it's still only three riders as far as I can see. Mollema, then Rafferty, and then Bernal, and then you've got Tom Scoins just behind, then Alex Kirsch, and then the last in line on the radio now is Mads Pedersen, probably saying, lads, we need to keep this up. We need to keep winding him in, because in a moment it is downhill. Well, it's gradually downhill. It's not a steep descent, but they're losing elevation, so the pace is going to be high, and it's not so much the distance that counts now, although of course it is. It's the time spent on the road. When you move quicker, you've got less time to actually bring the time gap. So 35 has come down a bit, but this is a really good battle, and Leroux looks very strong.
Yeah, he's at the top of his body, completely still, trying to get every ounce of energy there from the legs. Now he starts to sway just a little bit here on his way to that final 10-kilometer mark. And the road will go down from 10 kilometers to go, and that will be a huge relief. He's not going to keep his legs still on the descent. Absolutely not. He's going to keep on pedaling until they catch him. And yeah, with 10 kilometers to go, it's going to be touch and go for the peloton. We need more manpower at the front. Maybe somebody from Israel Premitech, if Pascal Ackermann is still around. Maybe somebody from Groupama FDG. I'm still trying to figure out if Sam Bennett is actually in this group. There is 3 riders there for Decathlon.
He's quite. I think I've seen him, but again, with him being the former Irish champion, I didn't see the bands on his sleeves, but again, we've had information he was out the back. Exactly, we had him out the back, but I think I've seen him, but I can't be definitive, unfortunately, because we had information he was out the back. But let's see. But they've definitely got Dorian Gold on there. I don't think Decathlon AG2R will chase just yet. And there's another few teams that do have fast riders, as you quite rightly said. Israel Premitech with Ackermann, Van Asbroeken, and also Jake Stewart, who's had a second place this year. They are teams with options, and they're not going to want to miss out, but they're going to make these teams work until the very last. It's real brinkmanship here, although saying that on this drag here, Mollema using that raw power that he's got, that deep power, to bring the gap back down to a far more manageable level now.
Ryan Gibbons is the last man in front of Mess Pedersen, trying to keep that powder dry, both he and Alex Kirsch, to make sure that they still have a little bit left. There's a lot of room there still to go a little bit bigger for Samuel Leroux, but we're still climbing, are we? Yes. I was just about to say, it's like this must still be uphill. Otherwise, he has got something to spare. He's probably has got an 11 up there.
It's not long until we get to the top of this little drag, then it starts to drop down. So this is where the bunch behind, as you can quite clearly see, can make the most difference. But also there's been a slight change at the top. Mollema, as I've no doubt we may see him again, but that was a big, almost terminal effort from Mollema. And it's now Tom Scoynes who's going to have to relay with the Irish champion there. You can just see the wind still coming over their right shoulder. And certainly won't split. There's no echelons here. It's just a cross headwind at the moment. But moving up on the outside is still very hard. It's moving up on the inside is far easier. As Scoynes opens up a little bit of a gap, looks around to see Alex Kerr's a helping hand there for Rafferty to get back on the wheel again.
Well, I think the gap is actually going towards the 35 mark. A quick count when we saw the panel, the panel there entering this little town, and this is interesting. This is not something that we expected, but yeah, of course, if you want to avoid a Mess Pedersen win or a Marijn van den Berg win, this is the only option that you have. Attack. Okay, BNB did it, and the same for Total Energie. We saw attacks from Matteo Vercher. We saw an attack by Mathieu Burgodeau, and now it's up to Samuel Leroux to, yeah, maybe potentially reward the fate that was put into him, despite that he's 30 already, to turn pro with Total Energie.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, he's had wins at that amateur level, then took that big win last year, and has got a 2-year deal with Total Energie, and is showing us the reason why that they've rewarded that win with faith and a place at the higher level. Still 29 seconds, and we saw that initial part of the descent. There was a brief opportunity, importantly for him to recover a little bit, so the freewheeling. He's now onto a slightly flatter section, and on these sections, the peloton aren't going to make much time up at all. If anything, it'll probably stabilise. It's only on the sections where they can actually lean on the power that they'll start bringing him back. And although we've got this cross headwind, as we can see, there are moments where it's actually pretty sheltered from all the vegetation and the trees, so it's going to be harder to bring him back. It's on these flatter sections that they really need to force it, but the steeper part of the descent is now done. It does actually gently flatten, but as we've seen before, the way he opened up that gap, the speed that he opened up that gap shows that this man has got a big engine. He can generate a lot of power. He's a slightly heavier rider, and this terrain all the way to line will suit him. This could be a little bit of a nail biter. 7Ks to go just under now, and only 26 seconds lead.
Yeah, keep on timing every time we see a little landmark. It is actually an accurate gap. Ooh, well, this is easier on your own, but this is what they mentioned, of course, the little tunnels. We are going into the 20, 25. Now they are going into that corner, so it is actually 30 seconds.
It's 30 seconds,
30 seconds. We can trust the GPS on this one. We're making our way to Saint-Victorin, which is just on the outskirts of Marignane. Our finish, if we look at the wind direction, sadly for him, it's a block headwind going into the finish line. After this descent, like you said, we take a little turn, and it's going to be block headwind. So it's really, really difficult. How much energy has he already spent on this attack? But he gives us good entertainment, this Samuel Leroux, and I like that in him.
Yeah, it's I think he's actually posing a threat. It is entertaining. Look at that. As soon as he went round that corner to get back up, see, this is quite a technical little left-hander here. He actually nearly got it wrong. So it drops down. It's quite rutted as well from what we could see on the pictures there. Thankfully, as you can see, there's some matting if anybody should get it wrong and go into that wall. But the way that Leroux stamped on the pedals just to get up to speed, as soon as the bike was level enough to lay the power down, that's what he did. And now this is the terrain that's going to favour the peloton. This man is strong, but they'll have him in their crosshairs. And I think it's a little bit more than 18 seconds, but this is going to be a very painful last 7.5 minutes approximately of effort for this man.
This is going to be really, really tough to maintain. Over 5 kilometers with it's a block crosswind here, but we're talking about 35 kilometers an hour wind speed. He tries to profit just a little bit there from the slipstream of the motorbike. Just take everything that you want. But Darren Rafferty, he's full gas at the front as we go into Les Pins Mirabeau 5 kilometers to go for our lone leader. Yeah, this is all in favor of the peloton, where we have the top sprinters Marijn van den Berg and Mess Pedersen. We're still trying to figure out there if Sam Bennett is there. Initial reports said he was in a 3rd peloton, so I don't think he is.
I think he's there. He's just
tightening his shoes.
Yeah, he's got the little things on his nose, you know,
Yeah,
the little the breathing things, whatever you call them. I think he is there. Gordon was there as well. I saw Jake Stewart moving up as well. It's
painful to watch. And this man, he will be hurting so much, but the gap is indeed coming down really fast. There they are. Some riders already dropped. That must be Mollema and Julien Bernal. The 2 riders dropped from this first group. But this is game over for poor Samuel Leroux. But keep on trying, because this is the entertainment that we love. But you can actually also see in the peloton how hard the wind is blowing here.
Did you see Rafferty has been working really hard and he did that final terminal effort, and then Alex Kirsch just looked across and said, drop in, do another one. Come on, give us some more. That was really it was actually quite funny. And Alex Kirsch looked actually relatively relaxed, but it's now Tom Scoynes on the front for Lidl Trek. Rafferty's turn is done. The gap's down to 15 seconds. The road rises ever so slightly, but there he is on this cruel bit of road. And that's what 10 seconds looks like at the moment. It's about 150 meters, give or take, isn't it, between our sole leader and the peloton behind.
A rather small peloton here in the first stage of the Tour de la Provence. We started uphill. We basically did the final of the Grand Prix La Marseillaise in the opposite direction. So we went up the Col de la Ginieste, up the Padoulier, up the Pass de Espigoulier, and that was when we had a breakaway of 4 riders, and it was also where the peloton split. About 18 riders, including 5 for Lidl Trek, were in that first peloton. The speeds in this race were really high, but now for the second part of the race we're racing into a block headwind. That original breakaway of 4, joined by the 18 chasers, or the first peloton, they were caught at the intermediate sprint that we had at Plan d'Aubes. That was at 72 kilometers. And gradually, this first peloton became smaller and smaller and smaller. Some teams, most notably Arkea B&B and this one, Total Energy, have been trying to avoid the mess.
Rafferty has found something special again. We often see riders do that. They dig deep into their reserves, their ability to tolerate pain, to find something special, just to give it a bit more. It was almost like an attack, but I don't think we'll see Rafferty near the front. 2.2 Ks to go. And it looks like it's Alex Kirsch who's had to take up the slack. He's briefly out of sight. They should get him back in their crosshairs again now, but 2 Ks to go. It's going to be very deep into the finish before they catch him. If they catch him at all, could he pull this off? There he is.
Wow. Well, it's going to be either heartbreak on this Valentine's Day in the final kilometer, or one of the best days in the career of this man. He still keeps on plowing. He does the exact same style now as Bauke Mollema, on the biggest gear he actually has on his bike. But this is lactic acid coming from all pores, ears, nose, what have you. This is hurt locker times 2, times 4. It's terrible what he's going through at the moment.
It is. Well, you can just see now the Unibet Tietema Rockets moving up the outside. They'll be looking after, imagine, Lucas Kubis for the sprint. He's very fast, but some of the other teams have potentially left it a bit too late. It is still Tom Scoynes. Now, the gap is starting to come down now. 1,500 meters to go. The man out in front, Leroux, is going to be, racked with agony. There's only about 30 riders left in this peloton, Jose.
I'm trying to spot the Slovakian champion. I don't think he is actually there. It's 2 other riders, so it might be up to the likes of Kopechki to do the sprint. But the sprint preparation is starting now. Yeah. And finally, the Decathlon AG2R are putting their guys at the front. It looks like Sam Bennett has chosen the wheel there of Mess Pedersen. So has Govikar. And Marijn van den Berg. Of course, everybody wants to be on that particular wheel. On the right-hand side, we have a little sprint train for Cofidis, quite possibly with Aniel Kowski, Valentin Ferron. But, yeah, sadly, the final kilometre is here. It's a heartbreaking Valentine's Day. A heartbreaking Valentine's Day for Samuel Leroux. But for us, he wins that jersey of Chouchou of the race. We're well inside the town of Saint-Victorin, and this is the sprint preparation. Alex Kirsch is going to eat him alive. Well done, Samuel Leroux, but the race was just a little bit too long for you. It's up to Little Track, up to EF Education, Easy Post to try and get this sprint out on the road. Everybody's trying to move up. We see Fred right there also on the right-hand side. Well, if we're looking on the left-hand side of the peloton. Final dig here for the EF Education. Nes Pedersen in third position. In fourth position, it's Marijn van den Berg. We also have Sandy Dujardin still up there. It looks like Bennett is going to give it a shot. Jake Stewart a little bit further back. Lukas Kubiš, indeed, there he is, the Slovakian champion. He was hiding a little bit. And there we go with a lot. Ooh, that was a difficult lead out there for Ryan Gibbons going into that final. It's Pedersen through the middle. Marijn van den Berg, or is it going to be Sam Bennett? Oh, Miss Pedersen has got something. This is hard to judge, but it might actually be Bennett.
I think Bennett.
I think it is. But it's hard to judge from the front. It was 4 riders in a row. We need to see an overhead shot of this. But it might be the man in the middle taking it.
There was
and
a
that
guy,
was Bennett.
Yeah, there was also a Groupama FDJ rider on the right-hand side who came very, very late. It was ahead.
I think.
It was, yeah, for Penowitz. So let's have a look at this again. So there we go. On the left-hand side, Van den Berg. You've got in the centre Pedersen, and there's no room at the moment for Bennett, but Bennett somehow finds the gap. It opens up, the door opens up. There's somebody coming up very quick on the left-hand side. At the moment, it's Bennett that's got this. Anilowski on the right-hand side. Looks like he's got more. Right,
it's easy.
Bennett takes it by. It was really foreshortened, wasn't it?
There was indeed Clément Rousseau was out there. Lukas Kubiš might be third, and Pedersen, well, he might have been at the front, because if we looked at that lead out by Ryan Gibbons, it looked like he couldn't really do the lead out that he wanted, making that Pedersen ended up in the wind a little bit too early. But what a win for Sam Bennett. For the entire race, we've been told on the official live ticker he was about 4 minutes behind, but no, we saw a quick peek, and he was indeed there hiding behind his teammates and getting this win. And this is a good win for Sam Bennett.
Yeah, it's a very good win. I mean, the way that shot was, it looked like Rousseau might have got that, but as soon as we saw the overhead, I think Rousseau might have actually been third or fourth, to be honest with you, unless they would say for that late lunge. But as you say, Sam Bennett in that group, we got glimpses of him, but he hit the front when he needed to. It's a second top 10 of the year, but importantly, his first win, and a massively important one against these sorts of sprinters as we look at this sprint again.
Yeah, you see one of his teammates making the effort there on the left-hand side, moving up to right next to Alex Kirsch in the final kilometre. We also have Rafferty still out, though Kubiš, of course, out there. This is the final kilometre. Everybody's trying to move up. And we see that Sam Bennett has chosen had the wheel of Nes Pedersen as they catch Samuel Leroux in that final kilometre. This is now the final kilometre. Last effort there by Alex Kirsch. Last efforts there for the teammate of Marijn van den Berg. And this is the moment that Sam Bennett is moving up to that rear wheel of Marijn van den Berg with invaluable help from his teammate. That teammate of him is doing a fantastic job getting him to that wheel of Marijn van den Berg and delivering him there. On the right-hand side, we have Fred Wright. We also have, and now we have to look at what Ryan Gibbons does. It looks like he wants to get out of the wheel to do that leader, and then he has to sit back down. He completely blowing up, I think. Yeah,
I mean, that's something. I mean, if Van den Berg moved ever so slightly to the left, didn't do anything wrong in that sprint. Actually, the rider who finished second was from Unibet, Kubiš, quite clearly there.
Nice one.
That was a great rod there. Unibet would be very happy with that. Their first big result of the year, but no doubt about Bennett. But as you say, the door just opened up and created that space. It's exactly what you want. Sprinting is about power, it's about position, it's about the lead out, it's about peak power, but also you need an element of luck, and the way that Pedersen and Van den Berg just slightly parted ways, just opened up the door, and it was like ideal, and Bennett just took it. It just happens, but Bennett, you know, was placed there very well by his teammates, but and that was a complex sprint because of that headwind as well. So he left it late, and the sliding doors opened at the perfect time to take his first win since the 19th of May last year. So a very timely win for Sam Bennett.
And joined here on Valentine's Day by his love and his kid. That is absolutely lovely. Yeah, it was Moses and the Red Sea there for Sam Bennett today.
It was, wasn't it? That was an exciting stage, really good.
It was a really exciting stage.
Yeah, you got to take your hat off to our late attacker as well, Samuel Leroux. It looked like he might have pulled off a big coup there, but the wind, it certainly played its part. It's made it so hard. But he made little trek in the EF Education Easy Post. Worked so hard, but ultimately the spoils go to the Irishman and to Decathlon AG2 Le Mondial.
Yeah. First of the year for the team from France. So I think there's only 2 or 3 teams, World Tour teams now, who are still on zero. I wonder if we have podiums. Hope we do. Would be nice for the
That'd be nice to get a chat with Sam, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Exactly.
With Sam Bennett,
hey.
we go. Envision victory today.
Yeah, we wanted to come here and try and get our first win of the season. Yeah, we knew it was going to be quite a hard beginning of the race. But yeah, we managed to get over the first climb with enough riders to bring me back in the first group. And yeah, the guys did a fantastic job, but it was terribly difficult. But yeah, we managed to pull it off.
It's a difficult day. Sunny but windy. How to fight?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite windy, but it actually helped me because a lot of the times it was headwind on the climb, so it allowed me to get over in a better group. So yeah, it was quite good and quite like the wind.
Just 1-1 for your team.
Yeah, the team were fantastic, and I want to thank them for the amazing support. And they didn't give up hope on me after Bessèges, and yeah, we came here, and I'm glad to repay them with a victory.
Thank you, sir.
Cheers.
I always love a good Irish accent. Really charming. It's very telling, isn't that? Never mind. Too much information. But yeah, he's got the first of the year for Sam Bennett, first for the team as well. And of course, really lovely for him to have his partner and their son with him. They also got a Van Rijssel bike, of course. That's what Decathlon takes care of. But they live in Monaco, so really not that far away from where we are now. But this is, at this moment, he was still on the wheel of the lead-out rider. And he tries to get onto that wheel of Mads Pedersen into that final corner. Going from wheel to wheel, it's a bit of wheel serving, and then all of a sudden, the road opens up. And he's got that final kick. And maybe, because he wasn't in that first echelon, he could save the legs just a little bit more than the likes of Marijn van den Berg and Mads Pedersen, who were in that first smaller group, having to do a little bit more work themselves. But that is, of course, speculation, because we don't know exactly what happened in that first half. We only know that Sam just said that he was having trouble with the mountainous first part, and that his team never lost confidence. They kept the faith, and they get rewarded with this first win and a leader's jersey. Yeah, somebody said this might also be Luke Rowe's first win as a sports manager, as a sports director. So good on you there. But I don't know if he's here or if it's the other Luke. They got a variety of Lukes on the team. Well, 2 in the team car. On Sunday, we were caught off rather abruptly, Matt. So, as long as I don't know whether we are going to have podiums, I'm not going into any discussions as we speak, because I think we ended on a sausage or something like that in Bessèges. We were discussing local sausages or something like that, and then all of a sudden the feed was cut.
So, hear me now? We're all good.
I hear you. Yeah.
A slight issue with sound. No, I was just saying tomorrow's stage.
Nice
in
one.
terms of it's going to be a tough one. Especially they've got that first cat climb with about 30-40 k's to go, which the other teams think will try and put Sam under pressure. But right for now, he can enjoy the podium and enjoy lining up tomorrow in the leader's jersey. Mission accomplished for day one.
Yeah, and also we have we have a tailor-made Mads Pedersen finish tomorrow. A kilometre, 3-4%.
Yeah, it's a kicker, isn't it?
But do join us tomorrow. We have a pretty full program, pretty busy program here for you. Matt and I, we will be on same time as today, 2:30 European time, 1:30 British and Irish time, of course. We also have Adam and Rob from Spain with Clásica de Murcia, with, of course, the Colado de Bermejo halfway in and the Cresto del Gallo. Always a very attractive race. We've got cyclocross from Cindy Klaas with Helen and Marty. And later this, and of course, Carlton and Joanna on the European Track Championships on the brand new oval of Hoogstezolder. So a lot for you to enjoy this week, tomorrow. And then on Sunday, we just do it again and add a race in Portugal as well, which is cool.
Yeah, there's lots to watch. Multi-surface cycling over the weekend for everybody. That's a gorgeous day. Look at that. That's the sorts of skies you want to see. That's the sort of skies that make this place so very special. And as you say, as we move into the particular region that inspired so many of the great impressionists on Sunday, I'm looking forward to hearing a bit more about those guys.
Well, I'm depending on you. Come on.
Oh, well, I'll dip in as well.
You just go into the yellow house.
That'd be lovely.
Qui nous ont rejoints. Les coureurs, eux, continuent de se préparer pour recevoir ensuite l'ovation qu'ils méritent, la cérémonie qui se prépare petit à petit. Mais on va, avec Fabio, retrouver quelques-uns des partenaires et des représentants des collectivités qui nous accueillent.
Oui, évidemment, monsieur le maire, que je vais inviter à nous rejoindre ici sur le podium, Claude Pissier-Villot, maire de Saint-Victoré. On va inviter également Patrice Covet, directeur général du CSC Lyonnaise de Banque, à nous rejoindre. Alors si Thomas Vauclair est parmi nous également, qui n'hésite pas.
This is our top 10. Sam Bennett wins ahead of Lucas Kubiš, first podium I think of the year for the Titema boys. Alexis Renard, Clément Rousseau, Mads Pedersen, Marijn van den Berg, Jake Stewart, Thibaut Gruel, Mathieu Burgodeau, and yeah, I didn't make it to number 10. But this is the Massif de Saint-Victoire. Stunning. Limestone everywhere.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. Absolutely stunning.
Like we established during Étoile de Bessèges, mainly dead animals, limestone.
Yeah, essentially a krill and plankton, isn't it, that are built up over the millennia and more.
Here we go, when we put in the bonus seconds that were by Mads Pedersen, Garcia Pierna. But Sam Bennett is, of course, in that leader's jersey. The head of Kubiš, Alexis Renard, Mohoric and Pierna were the riders who took some of the bonus points there.
I think they've forgotten about Fred Wright's bonus there.
Maybe he lost. Could be that his transponder was not working. Could be that he was just behind, but he was not behind the peloton. He was up there, and they took 3 seconds, so he should be up there in the GC. Good catch there, Matt.
Yeah, he was 10th on the stage.
Exactly.
So
that was number 10. No, I didn't make it to 10, but that was
just
Fred.
Spotted him.
If we do get the podium, we are going to spot a very familiar face in Thomas Vauclair, who is the ambassador of. Here we go, when We put in the bonus seconds that were by Ms. Pedersen, Garcia Pierna, but Sam Bennett is, of course, in that leader's jersey. The head of Kubish, Alexis Renard, Mohoric and Pierna were the riders who took some of the bonus points there.
I think they've forgotten about Fred Wright's bonus there.
Maybe he lost. Could be that his transponder was not working. Could be that he was just behind, but he was not behind the peloton. He was up there, and they took 3 seconds, so he should be up there in the GC. Good catch there, Matt.
Yeah, he was 10th on the stage.
Exactly. That was number 10. No, I didn't make it 10, but that was Fred.
Spotted him.
If we do get the podium, we are going to spot a very familiar face in Thomas Vuclair, who is the ambassador of this race. We do hear the podium announcer, but we're just going to enjoy this rather marvellous shot of the Mediterranean.
D'avoir participé à la renaissance de ce tour qui met en valeur notre territoire.
En tout cas, un grand merci à vous d'être à nos côtés. Alors, on va vous laisser peut-être quelques instants regagner le bas, le temps de nous assurer derrière que l'ensemble des coureurs qui vont être récompensés sont parmi nous. Sam Bennett est ici évidemment.
Yeah, just looking at the profile, tomorrow we've got